To ban or not to ban cell phones in schools? The debate isn't new, but in recent years it's ramped up amid concerns about how smartphones and social media are impacting children. I'm Tisha Powell.
And I'm Lee Zurich. If you're a parent, you probably know the struggle with screen time at home and at school. A 2023 survey of U.S. teachers found 72% of those at the high school level said students being distracted by phones is a major problem. But is the answer an outright ban?
Reporter Heather Graf shows us some of the different approaches and asks families, educators, and experts what's working.
All right, how we doing over here?
West Philadelphia High School on a Tuesday afternoon.
Anybody else want to try?
And as this 9th grade class works on algebra equations,
we're looking for alternative measures.
Principal Marla Travis is trying to solve a different kind of problem.
So the current policy here at West Philadelphia High School is that we do allow the students to bring the phones into school, but the expectation is that the phones are put away once they enter the classroom.
How do you feel that's been going?
Some classrooms, it's okay, and then some classrooms, it doesn't happen like it should. They're on the internet, Instagram, and things like that. They have nothing to do with what's going on inside the classroom.
And it's not just high schoolers.
Broadly speaking, cell phones are a distraction.
Gordon Laurie is principal of the GW Child's School, also in Philadelphia, but his students are in pre-K through 8th grades. He says kids with cell phones are getting younger and younger.
4th and 5th grade.
At this school, the current policy calls for each child to turn their phone into the teacher first thing in the morning, and they don't get it back until the end of the day.
I go in my class and my teacher says, "Nyla T, do you have your cell phone?" I said yes, and I handed it in.
Do you find that students are more engaged when they don't have their cell phone on them?
Yes. Yes. Out of sight is out of mind.
No complaints from 10-year-old Nyla.
When you don't have it, you get more work done.
But school leaders acknowledge it's not a foolproof system.
True, every day we know that students will make a decision not to turn in their phone. And so the struggle becomes really a kind of policing operation.
The nonprofit Common Sense Media highlights the struggle to enforce classroom cell phone restrictions in this 2023 study, noting that 97% of 11 to 17-year-olds still use their phone during school hours, with the highest proportion of in-school screen time spent on social media, followed by YouTube and gaming. Yet we found parents are still split on whether a complete cell phone ban is the solution at school.
So we really are pushing hard for first bell from the moment they walk into that school until last bell, that the phone cannot be on them at all, because even if it's in their book bag on the floor, they still feel that need to want to grab their phone and check on things.
I don't want my kids to be distracted when they should be learning how to read, learning how to do math. But on the other side, I also worry about, what they're going through in times where we're concerned about safety and what's happening with our kids. We want to be able to maintain that connection.
Amid the debate, some educators are turning to these lockable Yonder pouches. The idea is that kids must put their phones inside a pouch at the start of each school day, and they can only be unlocked using a special magnetic base or by school staff. The California-based company says more than 2,000 U.S. schools are now using their product, and the principal of this school in Texas touted results after just one semester.
We saw drastic changes in engagement levels.
But there's also the issue of cost. Richmond Public Schools in Virginia recently piloted the pouches at 6 schools. And with about 4,200 students at $17 per pouch, the total bill came to more than $70,000.
They're spending a lot of money.
Principal Travis will tell you her school is among those that experimented with the Yonder pouches a few years ago, but says some of her students quickly outsmarted the secure pouches.
It was very easy for people to break into them.
And here too, she heard safety concerns about students being unable to access their phones in an emergency.
We have school shootings and stuff like that, so why are kids' phones being banned if we have school shootings, and then how are you supposed to call 911?
This is a complex topic.
Richard Collada is CEO of the International Society for Technology and Education. And perhaps his biggest advice is that families and schools must work together to teach children about healthy tech use.
It's a shared responsibility. Teachers can't do all of it. They shouldn't have to do all of it.
Should schools be banning cell phones?
it is rarely a good idea to ban technology.
Instead, he suggests educators embrace it and look for ways to incorporate cell phones into some lessons.
I'm not advocating that we have devices 24/7 in every classroom, but man, we better model how we use these devices to get information, to learn. They have a library bigger than any library on the planet in their pocket. And if we're not modeling and teaching that that is what that is, right, then we've lost a big opportunity.
Back at West Philadelphia High, the principal says she's already seen a few teachers taking that approach. For example, using the phone as a fact-checking tool during class discussion, or the phone's calculator at times during math.
Okay, try it.
But it's a work in progress, and for the 2024-2025 school year, they're planning to install these cell phone lockers in each classroom.
Basically, this is where the phone will be doing instructional time.
Then, during lunch and in the hallways, students will be allowed to use their phones.
That's the compromise.
And she believes compromise is worth trying.
Look at you on that phone.
Whatever it takes to keep kids dialed in to learning.
In 2023, Florida became the first state to pass a law that bans cell phones during instructional time in schools. Reporter Heather Graf joins us now. Heather, what about parents who say their kids need some access to their phones so they can communicate with their children during the school day?
Tisha, we spoke to several school leaders for this story, and generally speaking, they said parents can always call the front office to be connected with their child, which of course is how most schools used to operate before cell phones became so common.
And Heather, what if there's an emergency situation?
Well, in the event of a true emergency on campus or a threat to student safety, school officials have said it's their job to get timely updates and information out to parents while students focus on evacuating or following instructions from teachers. But as we heard in some of our interviews, not all parents or students are comfortable with that approach.
You know, I have 2 children, and it's shocking to see the anxiety that they feel without their phones or iPads.
It's so true. Our oldest, and my wife and I, drives us crazy some days. She'll text us during the school day, and we're like, pay attention in class, stop texting us.
Yeah.
But it's the new norm, and we just have to figure out, as you heard in that story, how to figure it all out together. What's the best way to move forward?
How to make it all work.
Exactly. All right.